Hi everyone, I'm Azlin. I'm the Senior Editor of Middle East and Asia Pacific Crude Markets for Argus Media based in Singapore. With me today is Tom Reed, who is Vice President of China Crude and Products for Argus Media. So Tom, let's talk about China. How do you see China oil demand for the rest of this year and in 2024?
Well, we have Chinese oil demand growing by around 900,000 barrels a day this year. Clearly, it's been growing faster than that. And I think we certainly see it slowing in the last few months of this year, probably taking the form of higher product exports, simply because, there's a massive contraction going on in the real estate market, which has historically been the main driver of oil demand growth in China. So I think that's probably almost certain to happen, and we saw a new batch of product export quotas just being released. Looking ahead to next year, I think, oil demand will certainly grow at a slower pace. If we see, GDP grows at 4.5%, which I think is what the IMF has currently, then oil demand would probably grow on historical trends by around sort of 700 kbd. Whether that will in fact be the case, I think is highly debatable because, of course, all of our demand modeling has been predicated on continued expansion in the real estate market, and that is no longer a given.
So, China has actually become quite a swing buyer in the grey crude market. So, do you think that China's consumption of Russian and Iranian crude in particular could continue to grow in the next 6 months to a year?
I think certainly. Everyone's bargain hunting in China right now, not least because, of course, formula prices from those, strategically important Middle Eastern producers like Saudi Arabia have been set so high. So they're looking for cheaper barrels, and that has taken the form of Iranian crude, it has taken the form of Russian crude. To the extent that they are able to, I think they would certainly like to expand imports of those cheaper grades. And I think they're likely to see higher imports from Iran because China's the only market for Iranian crude, right? Whether that is the case with Russia, I think, is more debatable because, of course, China faces stiff competition from India and Indian refiners, because Indian refining margins are stronger than those in China, can probably afford to outbid Chinese refiners for Russian crude.
Thank you very much, Tom, for your time.
My pleasure.